So we've just finished this 36 panel grid tie battery backup system, and here's our finished product. This is just our DC switch gear. It's real simple, but it does what it needs to do. So we have our two solar panel strings, and we use Y connectors on ground mounts. There's the Y connectors where we're connecting our two strings together and paralleling them. So we bring in 4 wires right here, and then the 4 wires are coming in, and they're going through each one of these IMO disconnects. Here's the IMO disconnects. There's the specs on that. That's a great switch if you guys are looking for an affordable high voltage DC switch. It's very affordable, nice purpose built switch. This is the switch that's on the side of a lot of inverters. There's like millions of them, literally millions of them out there. And this is it's what a nice ground mount looks like. The panels we used on this job are Axitec 310s. They're 310 watt modules times 36. So that's 11.16 kW, just a little over 11 kW on this solar array going into an 8 kW sol-ark inverter. And it can actually handle that much power. And even though it'll limit itself to only sell 9,000 back, the sol-ark's very flexible in what it can do. It's the amazing inverter. What is that on top of there? Oh, there's a bird on the panel. Get off of the panels. Hey, that's a little bluebird. So, get out of there, bird. So if you see right there, you guys are going to ask why they went to half cut panels and shipped us 6 panels that were different from the other ones. The same wattage, same brand, but dang it, they shipped us. The customer, luckily he was cool with it. It's the far end of the inverter. So when he sits on his porch, I'm sorry, it's at the far end. Here's our finished exterior work. I had to do a conduit run on the exterior of the house for the smart load. Oh, somebody needs to, we got to get that cover on that LB. And there's that transfer switch. We were just messing around with the smart load feature on the sol-ark. And that's it, folks. We're headed back to Georgia. So here's our completed sol-ark install. We got our telecom style battery rack with 20 batteries. These are a good battery. We like this battery because it's very energy dense. You can go straight up with this cabinet. Doesn't take up a ton of floor space, and just gives you a compact system in a grid tie setup where these batteries stay in float charge all the time. It still doesn't make financial sense to put in a lithium battery when this battery will last 10-15 years in a grid tie float charge backup scenario, which is what we're doing here. And here is our sol-ark. This is just a bypass in case we ever need to bypass the sol-ark for maintenance. We can just flip that into the up position and he can run off grid like he was. That's his critical load panel for everything the sol-ark will run. And what's amazing with the sol-ark is that you also get kind of a whole house energy monitor. So I'm in what's called limited power to home right now. If you see that, I got the check mark indicated for limited power to home. Even though I do not have grid tie cell enabled, see that? I don't have that checked. Limited power to home allows me to use the solar to power as much as I possibly can. I'm not just going to power what's in the critical load panel. I'm also trying to power stuff in the house. So this right here, this is a new feature on the sol-ark. This shows you how much power the grid panel is using. This shows you how much power, the grid panel is the one I showed you outside, and this shows you how much power the house and the grid panel is using. So it's pretty cool. It's able to offset usage in the grid panel without pushing back into the grid. So I know that's a little bit advanced, what I'm talking about, but just gives you a lot of ways to save money without doing a grid tie agreement, which I think is just awesome. And the screen, it's definitely the best screen out of all the inverters. I mean, it's just so much easier to use than other inverters. If you haven't used the sol-ark inverter, you should definitely try it. So I'm in here troubleshooting, just trying to get all the connectivity going perfect. And Scott's playing. He's playing again. What a surprise, you're playing. Big Boss is ready to roll. My truck's ready to roll. How'd you like to look at that on your porch? Here's some more of the customer's preps. Plenty of firewood, diesel tank, sweet house. Got a drilled well in that little outbuilding. Wood heat. This house is all cypress. It's not. This is a sweet house. I'm upstairs. It's all cypress. It's got all closed cell phone insulation in the attic and the crawl space. It's got open cell on all the walls. So one of the hardest parts on this particular job was getting the smart load circuit up into the water heater. But there it is. Ran it up the wall on the exterior and into the attic, and then we came down with the MC, which is a great type of wire to use. That MC will get you out of a jam. The smart load on the sol-ark, what it does is it allows you to divert excess power when the solar's making more than you need in the house, and if you don't want to sell it back to the grid, or if you're off grid and you would otherwise just not be making that power. Smart load feature allows you to do things like running, in most cases we're going to run an element in a water heater. You could also run an air conditioner, you could run a motor. But this is that smart load circuit. So we go in, we change out the element. We always put in a little smaller element. We don't want to overburden the sol-ark. So this is like a 3500 watt element in here. We'll disconnect the thermostat from above, and we use the thermostat and we switch our smart load circuit. And that gives us the ability to heat water at the bottom of the tank and store more energy in his hot water heater. So once you start storing electrical energy as heat energy, you can pack a lot of energy into this water heater. We love the smart load feature. It's another awesome thing about the sol-ark. This is the attic. This is that closed cell foam. It looks like he's got about 3 inches of closed cell in the attic. This is in Louisiana, and then he's got open cell in the walls. And this house is awesome. Doesn't smell weird or anything. It's super tight. Good foam job. Just really cuts down on his bills. So every good project starts with a good structure, hopefully. This is definitely a really well thought out, well executed, secure location from an energy efficient standpoint and from a looking good standpoint. So it's not super well lit in here, but this is the downstairs of this all cypress house, and just really cool wood everywhere, big beams. Pretty awesome. Customer's unmade bed there.
This is a great install.
Yeah?
Good team.
What else? Abraham, can you look at the hole in the camera, please? That YouTube wants to interact with you.
I don't want to interact with YouTube.
How was your visit to Louisiana? Did you get some good food?
I got crawdads.
Did you get some etouffee?
I got some etouffee.
What was your best meal?
I had one little fried oyster off Scott's plate. I snagged it with my fork. That was the best oyster I've ever had.
All right.
Had catfish. Had oysters. Had crawdads. Had some...
Did you see an alligator?
Not a live one, no.
Oh.
It's very disappointing. But I did see the town we visited on Swamp People. Hammond, Louisiana, was featured on Swamp People, and they were catching gators. So I was in proximity of gators, and that's pretty exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Bye.